Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chelsea and you're watching Chelsea Sang. This week I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So I have a confession to make. Ever since I watched season 2 of Demon Slayer, it's been a while, it has. A lot has changed for me personally. I had been collecting the series and I did enjoy season 1, but I wasn't really in a rush to finish it. You know, I was actually considering dropping it. But the anime has really done a lot to get the series back on my radar, and I thoroughly enjoyed the Entertainment District arc. And since then, I have been a little bit obsessed with Uzui. So I don't know why, but I have just been like thinking about his headpiece, and I decided that I was gonna try and remake it. So I'm gonna take you guys into my studio and we're gonna try, we're gonna attempt to basically recreate this from clay. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with it. I honestly just wanna see if I can get it right and then get it to fit comfortably on my head, and then see if I can, you know, get it to look how I want to using clay. I am gonna try and do a sketch, just kind of based off what I see, and try and put the pieces together just like in my head and try and, you know, like recreate it. I think I can probably build a slab for the base and then attach lumps of clay and then carve the gems in place. I think the toughest thing is going to be to get those gems, get enough like surface area and really get those grooves in so that I could possibly add some luster to it to really make it sparkle.
So now I have slipped and scored the extra pieces onto the main part, and we're just going to squeeze and make sure that these connect well. Then I'm going to work to clean it up a little bit and get rid of some of that excess clay and try to get like an initial shape for what these are going to look like. So here it is after the initial thing, and we're going to wrap it up in some plastic and come back a few days from now. So we're back. We've dried a little bit, so we can really get to carving. So right now I am going through with a shear form, making sure the tops are as flat as possible, using my ribs and really getting in there, shaping them up, having those grooves really come through and getting them as sharp as possible, because that's one of the things that I noticed while watching and looking through pictures, is that I think the ridges really have to come through so they look like uncut gems, you know? So this is where we are. After carving a little bit, we are going to come back a little bit later and do the process over again. So now we are adding some slip before it dries too much, because slip is basically like a liquid clay, so they kind of have to dry together or they'll dry at different rates and the slip is just going to crack off. So we are putting white on the base to act as a primer, because I have decided that I'm just going to paint the base. So we're gonna have white, and then for the gems I took the white slip and added a petal pink stain to them to really get that pink color coming through, and then I also did a orchid kind of like pastel-ish purple color as well for the shadows of the grooves. Now I'm not really gonna go too detailed in how they come out, because these really, I'm just testing this color to see if it's gonna work, because really I don't know. But here we are, all slipped up with the white, the pink, and the orchid, and so far we're looking good. You can't really tell the difference right now, but after the firing you will begin to see it. You know, if you look close, there is like a slight difference, but yeah, we'll see it later. Also, can't forget the beads. So I just kind of did some random shapes and carved them up a little bit, let them dry, and we're gonna add some slip to those. So here is our finished bisque. right? So we have the white shining through. I see it. Yes, I'm loving it. We're here. We also have a little bit of pink showing through. This, it is just as light as I thought it would be. We have our beads. You know, I didn't really cover it with the slip as well as I should because I was playing around, but here we are. The parts are coming together. Next, we are going to add some glaze only to the gems because I want them to look like gems. So we got to be really careful. Well, not really, but I'm trying to be really careful when just kind of adding the coat. Rule of thumb is when you're adding glaze to pottery is to try to get the thickness about like that of a penny. So I'm gonna have to go through with several coats of this. Right now it's kind of dripping. I had a little bit too much water in my brush, but we're gonna go back through and make sure that we get it as neat as possible. So I think I put maybe 3 or 4 coats on each one, trying to be as careful as possible and as neat as possible because that is not my MO and this is very different for me. So I'm gonna go back through with these dental tools that I love for carving, and just make sure that I'm cleaning up. So because I don't want anything running down, and here is the finished part, and we're gonna throw some tape on it and get to spray painting, people. Yes, you know, I have a love-hate relationship with spray painting, but I really don't mind it. I was a little worried about this silver color, but it came out okay. So now we're gonna take the tape off and have a look-see. Oh, can't forget the beads. I decided, for the sake of my sanity, to just try and find a nail polish color that is as close to them as possible, and I painstakingly sat down and painted each of these. I thought stringing them up would be a little easier because it is tedious, but it would have been even worse trying to glaze these, although I had the perfect glaze that would just been perfect. But there is no way that I could glaze these without them getting stuck to the kiln shelf, to be honest with you. So I just, yeah. So now we're stringing them together and we are going to attach them to the plate. I'm going to call it a plate, name plate. Had the beads together. Initially I had about 10 beads for each string to do for both, but I decided to put all on one, and I had some leftover, I think it's called basing, that I used for a cosplay that I made a few years ago, and so I just used that because I know it's supposed to be white. I'm really not trying too hard with this and just kind of using what I have, kind of just laying around. And for the other piece I just used this blue ribbon and just decided, you know what, let's just make this like the flashback scene in the thing where he's like, you know, young Tengen. Yeah, that's the thing. Although the gems, because I didn't plan for it, you know, the gems are like too much more than before, but whatever. So a few lessons were learned here. For some of these I didn't put in enough slip, so you can see some of the red poking through on the gems, which is not giving it the look that I desire. But I suppose it is what it is. In the beginning I said that the most difficult part would be to get the gems looking like how I want them to, but actually it was getting the curves right on the actual nameplate itself so it fits comfortably. Of course I didn't think that way, and because of my test it broke. Of course, when I was making it there was a crack that formed in that area that I just overlooked. This is why I work in multiples of 2, because I know that something like this will always happen. So yeah, I did want to test out a different thickness, so this one was thinner. So now that I've broken it, I'm just going to switch it out and make this the actual final result, even though the gems aren't my favorite, but it was a good experience. And if you want to see a finished look, be sure to keep an eye out for my TikTok for when I need to get all dressed up again. I will definitely post something with this. So yeah, here we are.
Thank you so much for sticking through. If you are still here, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this with me actually like trying to recreate stuff, do let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.